Hey guys, greetings. As always, Mom Vernon Kid here, back again for another comic book review. As always, this is the books that came out for the week of November 4th. This is also the 150th review for me, as always. And as always, guys, what do I do with my reviews? I try to keep it real, keep it honest, I keep it true. If I don't like something, I don't like it. If I hate it, I hate it. If I liked it, I liked it. If I love it, I love it. And I got a good amount of books this week. As you can see here, got from Marvel, DC, tons of independent. And we're gonna kick this off, shall we? As always, shout out to all my fellow comic online reviewers, as always. And let's get started. Let's see what the Omni Geek High Lord of New York has to say about these books. We're going to kick this off with none other than Amazing Spider-Man number 721, 23, I believe. If you're keeping the original numbering of Amazing Spider-Man, they say number 3, which it's not. First of all, the Alex Ross covers are beautiful, as always. You got old Spidey up there with old Johnny Storm. And this issue has been advertised and spoiled throughout the woodwork, especially of the cover, and it was spoiled what the what the New York branch of Park Industries was going to be, and it's going to be the Baxter Building, headquarters of Fantastic Four, the First Family. Now, having said that, even though the cover was great, I didn't like this issue. Not at all. Didn't like it. Mr. Slott, you fucked up on this issue. Yes, you did. You did. You did. You did. And if there's anybody out there that disagrees with me, feel free to leave your opinion in the comment section below. But this is my opinion on it. All right? And I'm going to give it to you. Slott fucked up on this. This felt nothing more than just a butthurt Johnny Storm. I love Johnny Storm. He was always my favorite of the FF. Loved him. And he literally goes about throughout this almost entire issue almost coming off like a child with a fucking flaming temper tantrum because he's not getting his way or something like that. He flies off after Peter announces where Parker Industries is. You got J. Jonah Jameson finally making his appearance again, brown-nosing Peter. Blah, 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 blah. Johnny gets all hot-headed, flies over, nearly blows Peter's secret identity, calling out Spider-Man, calling even Parker in sometimes, and has a fight with Peter as Spidey. And I'm reading this and I'm like, what is this? What is this? I'm like, what the fuck, Slott? Why is he acting like this? Some degree I understand, but then a lot of it I'm like, this is bullshit. This is complete bullshit. Then you got on the other side, we finally get to see Scorpio of the Zodiac. We haven't seen Scorpio in a long time. Not knowing if this is actually Jack Fury, Nick Fury's brother, or not. But Bobby Mockingbird actually tells Nick Fury Jr. that could be your uncle that we're fighting, because Zodiac comes, takes it to S.H.I.E.L.D. to kind of rescue Leo. You got that side story. But other than that, the whole rest of the book is about Johnny flipping out. He comes in. Spidey tries to show him around. We get to see who runs Parker Industries when Peter is not there. Will I ruin who that is? No, I won't spoil that for you. But what I will say is I like the role, the kind of interesting detail of that this character does not go under, has officially changed his last name, it is a he, to his mother's maiden name. And I thought that was interesting. He doesn't want anything to do with his father. I get it. Yeah, you should probably figure it out. I shouldn't have said that. But other than that, Spidey shows Johnny where all the, like, the Spidey, cars and stuff are, the Spider-Mobile and things like that. Johnny sees that. You made a new Spider-Mobile without me? Flips the fuck out and they go fighting again. I'm like, what am I reading? It's like, really? Really, Slot? I'm like, Johnny acting like a perpetuate brat that's butthurt. It's like, this is not Johnny Storm. And then it gets worse from there. And then finally we get to see Peter finally is like, okay, look, I got to do this as myself. We get to see him come in and he takes Johnny to the lobby of where pretty much inside the lobby of the Parker Industries, there is a statue crafted by Elisa Masters herself of the family, the Fantastic Four. And Johnny says something here, and I'm just like, and then Peter says to Johnny, look, everybody wanted to buy this building. Alchemax, Roxanne, Justin Hammer, you name it. I bought them out so as to basically say, okay, because when the Fantastic Four comes back, and Peter even said, and they will come back, I'll turn the building right over to them. Johnny says something that it just instantly just made me go, Slot, what the fuck? Johnny says, well, as long as it's staying in the family, I'm cool. Oh my fucking God, what the fuck was that? Holy shit. Instantly, I'm like, you write that now, Slot? That should have been right then and there. Johnny saying to Peter, Peter, you've always been family to us. I'm glad you have control of the building right now. No, you have Johnny going a fucking temper tantrum, butt hurt over some bullshit, and instantly just that book just pissed me off because not only did it make me not like, I'm like, Slot, what are you doing to this friendship? It was almost like another slap in the face to basically saying, yeah, we're going to keep slapping Fantastic Four in the face. Instantly was not a good issue in my opinion. I was very sorely disappointed in that. You fucked up, Slot, and you know you did. And if you don't, you should know because you did. Let's move on, shall we? We move on to Doctor Strange, number 2. Alright, Doctor Strange, number 2. Aaron's still bringing that classic Steve Ditko, Stan Lee telling of Doctor Strange. Once again, like I said, I'm not the biggest Chris Baccio artwork fan, but in this issue, I can tolerate it, and it's Doctor Strange that I care about, and for him, I'll stay on. But Doctor Strange is still dealing with the case that he's dealing with the certain student that came to see him, and we find out what is ailing her. It's some creatures. I'm not going to spoil what they're called, but they are like some kind of supernatural maggots that feed off the. I can't ruin that for you. I can't spoil that for you. But Doctor Strange tries to deal with them as best he can, including Wong. We get to see Wong. It was good to see Wong. Wong, he's helping out as well. and we can see Doctor Strange try to use a spell that he's been using for years, the Crimson Bands of Sidorak, and for some reason, I'm gonna spoil this, he can't use it. And even Doctor Strange's like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? But does he deal with the case at hand? I won't ruin that for you. You just have to read it for yourself. But he needs to get down to the bottom of why he couldn't use a spell he's been doing for years. Then there's this cliffhanger that Aaron's leaves us with that just made me like, what? Aaron's, where you going with that? And this was good. Still doing a great job, Mr. Aaron's. Keep it up, sir. Doctor Strange #2. Move on to Drax #1. Former WWE wrestler CM Punk, now turned MMA fighter, soon to be UFC fighter, and Cullen Bunn write this tale. They co-write it along with Chris Hepburn. I think that's does the artwork. This was fun. I'm not gonna lie. This was fun. This is basically showcasing that at times the team, the Guardians, are not always together. They come together to do their job, but then they go their separate ways in a sense. And basically what this basically is showcasing that Drax is still on his quest for revenge against the Mad Titan himself, Thanos, for killing his family. Or supposedly killing his family. Remember, his but that's pretty much what this was. But the stuff in this was just really funny. I love this.
The scenes between Rocket and Drax was really funny. Uh, the situation there's a cliffhanger at the end of this book that really had me like, ooh, okay, looks like there's a battle coming next. And Punk and Bunn did a good job, gear me up for that fight that's coming up. Let's just say Drax is going to be dealing with an individual. You know what? He's going to be dealing with a former Herald of Galactus. Now, you try to pick which one I'm talking about because there's been many. But when I saw that, I'm like, ooh, Drax, you're in for a fight, dude. But I enjoyed it. This was fun. Moving on to Extraordinary X-Men #1, Jeff Lemire and Herberto Ramos. I'm going to be honest here, guys. I really wish Ramos was not on this title. See, when I think of the X-Men, when I think of key characters in any form of comics, characters that are very well known, I always feel that they deserve the best artists. And honestly, to me, Extraordinary needed an artist like one of my favorites, Mike Deodato, on there, something like that, to capture what this story was all about. Basically, this is kind of showcasing what has been going on with the Children of the Atom since for the past 8 months or so. They talk about, we see Storm. She's like really on ends and knees. She's like, what has become of us? People are fearing and hating us even more. She puts some of the blame on Scott. But Dick Summers. They go into detail about what's going on with the Terrigen Mist. That's really killing mutants and doing more than just killing them. I'm not gonna ruin that. It's almost like they've all went their separate ways in a sense. Colossus is back on the farm, the same farm that he was on since he first made his appearance back in 1975. Jean is basically now, going to Empire State University. She's just trying to be normal. Uh, Nightcrawler's dealing with what I think was the I think was the Marauders. I don't know. It could have been somebody else. Uh, Magique is running around trying to save, you know, other mutants, and it's getting so bad for mutants now. Like now, it's almost to the point, guys. It's shoot to kill. You see a mutant, start shooting. Don't even give them a chance to like give themselves up. Just shoot. Majik goes to India to save this young mutant girl, and you should have seen the Indian police there. They were just like, it was like SWAT. It was crazy. But Storm and the gang, especially because it's mostly Storm and Bobby together, and they're trying to get the band back together in a sense. And you know, it's just really it's no nothing really big really happened in this issue. Just more of a more dialogue, a lot of dialogue, a lot of exposition, trying to explain what's been going on, and a lot of things. You know, Storm is just trying to explain to Jean. You know, you're never going to be normal. You know, Jean's trying to be normal. Jean is still scared of the fact that, yes, she knows kind of she's going to die, you know, and again, and again, and again, and, you know, come back and things like that. She's just trying to live a normal, but Storm kind of breaks down. But you're a mutant. You got to be proud about it. We're not going to change. It's really bad that there's the reasons why they explain why there aren't any more mutant born, no new mutants being born now. I won't spoil what that was. I did like the panels between Ileana and Peter. I thought that was interesting, and we do get to see at the end Old Man Logan at the end um, fighting a Sentinel, and right when he's about to gut the Sentinel, Sentinel says, "Please don't hurt me." I'm like, okay, what? But other than that, Mr. Lemire did a good job, kind of giving us a like almost like foreshadowing what this title is going to be. Uh, this is one of 3 X-Men titles you'll see me review a lot. But other than that, like I said, I did not hate Romano's artwork. I just feel that the X-Men deserve a better artist. No, that came out wrong. I didn't mean like that. Needed a needed an artist that could really give it more of a feel of kind of dark. And like I said, Mike Deodato would have been perfect. All right. We move on to tweeted this man, and I told him, thank you so much. This was great. Hercules #1, Dan Abnett, and Luke Ross does the artwork. Luke Ross' artwork was great in this. This was great. Very much enjoyed this. I've always been a fan of Hercules. Not just Marvel version or any kind of comic version of the character, just Hercules in general. I've always been a fan of the classic Greek hero. And what Abaddon is trying to do is showcase that Hercules was and will always be the first superhero of the Marvel Universe. He was the first. He was the first that spawned all the heroes that came after. I like that approach. It makes perfect sense. And why couldn't Hercules hold that? But in this issue alone, basically, it's showcasing that kind of Herc has become like he's kind of supposedly retired in a sense. But also the way they put it, especially the way Mr. Abnett writes, is almost like Hercules is kind of like the Charlie Sheen of the Marvel Universe, as he's always just getting drunk, getting thrown out of bars, womanizing, as well as also, you know, just being a dick at times. People come to visit him. He's still living in Brooklyn, as always, in a very high populated Greek area of Brooklyn. People come to ask for his help, and he, you know, you got to kind of give him something of worth, and he'll kind of investigate it. He also has a roommate in his apartment, somebody who's
kind of like freeloading another classic Greek mythological hero, Gilgamesh from Sumerian legends. And he calls him Gil in this, and Gilgamesh is just like a couch potato, always on his couch, just watching TV, eating Hercules food, nothing like that, not really helping. Herc does some things in this that are really cool. You can see that Mr. Abaddon really gives Herc more of a feel like, even though he's a very old character and he's been around for years, centuries, millennia, but he's able to move on with the times. And we see that in this, especially when Herc is fighting a demon, and this demon is talking old talk, and he's like, okay, so you really got to talk in that old tongue. And he's like, so Herc starts talking in old tongue, like thou goth and blah blah blah, and it was really good. This was fun. I very much enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes, because it truly showcases that, as Hercules said in this to Gilgamesh, he's like, this world needs heroes. Something old is coming to rain havoc on this world, and we, Gilgamesh, are just the two guys to deal with it. He's gonna try to get Gilgamesh back into the game, you know. I like his new like modern look. It still keeps the essence of classic Herc, but it's also got more of a tactical look that's good. One thing also Abaddon has done in this is he's kind of Abaddon is basically said that this feels like a little bit of what Greg Pak did with the character way back, but also Abaddon has stated in this that Herc is back with his godlike abilities, his demigod powers, because when Greg Pak was doing it after the Chaos Wars, Herc gave up his godlike powers so now he's basically a demigod again. But other than that, this was great. I very much enjoyed it. It was fun, good read. Like I said, Luke Ross's artwork was great, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of this. This was great. Do yourselves a favor, if you have not read this, I recommend it. Invincible Iron Man #3. Bendis Marquez still doing a bang up job with this. Madame Masque has gotten even more dangerous now than she's ever been. Whitney Frost. She has gotten very dangerous because now she's dipping her toes into the realm of magic. And what makes it even worse is that she knows Tony. They know each other. They got history. And Tony, she even said, you always bring out the worst in me. When Tony realizes that he's kind of in a pickle with her, he tries to get some help from Doctor Strange. He pays Doctor Strange a visit, and Doctor Strange tells him, what's going on. He explains to Doctor Strange about, Doctor Doom, and also, Doctor Doom having a second Wanda Watum, all that. This was great. But I thought it was funny just seeing, Doctor Strange and Tony, and he's like, come on, let's get a high five for, we're the only ones that wear like a mustache and a bearded, a goatee and everything like that. And Doctor Strange's like, yeah, okay. And then he's just like, yeah. And Doctor Strange's like, I hate you. Stuff like that. But this was really good. It ends on a very cool cliffhanger because, once again, Whitney, aka Madame Masque, has been causing a lot of trouble all over, and Tony's not the only one looking for her. So, yeah, this was good stuff. Last Marvel book, Star Wars #11, Aaron's. Check a look at that cover. That happens in this issue. Chewbacca throws down. The Wookiee warrior gets nitty gritty. Luke is still in the hands of what's his name? Not John. Well, he is a Hunt. and he's, you know, using these games that he's like a Coliseum like games, and Luke really is in dire straits. He needs some help. Meanwhile, you got Princess Leia and Han still trying to get to Luke, but you know he still has to deal with telling Leia the truth about, is this woman really his wife? You know, and we get an explanation of what went down. I won't ruin what it was, but just seeing Chewbacca throw down was great. You know, that was really cool. I enjoyed that. That was probably my favorite part of this issue. It ends pretty cool, especially um, with Han. I thought that was really cool. Star Wars 11, good stuff. Let's move on to DC. The only DC book, Batman and Robin, Eternal number 5. Um, I'm gonna stop reading this for a while, guys. You won't see me review this for a while because what I'm gonna do is since this is a weekly series, I really want to read it in a bulk, like issue 6 through 8 or something. It gives it a more feel to it. I think that's just my opinion on it. Birds of a Different Feather. Tillian Schneider and all the gang. This does not really happen, but Dick does go pay Tim's parents a visit, and we also get some more in depth into Scarecrow during when Dick was Batman. A little bit more of Harper Row and Cassandra Cain. Um, but more importantly, it's the stuff that went down between Dick and Peter and Tim's parents, and what Tim does. I was just like, okay. But other than that, this was okay, not bad. Batman and Robin Eternal number 5. All right, 5 independent books. 1 from Aspen, 2 from Dynamite, and 2 from Image. Let's start it off with Aspen Comics, The Legend of Oz, Wicked West. Tom Hutchison, still doing a fun job with this title, as you can see the cover. Dorothy and her companion, the Tin Man, who just looks like a Western, you know, just a average, you know, sheriff, because this is like Oz is totally different in this story. And once again, we're just showcasing, this show just showcases in this issue, and once again, that this is a Dorothy of a different color. She doesn't play games. She will if you piss her off, you better be ready for a knuckle sandwich, because she will lay it on you quick. After dealing with the flying monkeys, Dorothy's like, okay, we got to get to the Emerald City. She frees the Cowardly Lion. They even give a concept of the Scarecrow in this, which was really interesting. But a lot of people know that the ruby revolver that she's carrying does not belong to her, and the story thickens from there. And then there's the backstory of more about the guns in the original story, which was cool. But as of right now, I've been very much enjoying this, guys. Legend of Oz, Wicked West, number 2. Good stuff. Moving on to Dynamite. Bam! Ian Fleming's James Bond, 007. Ellis, Masters. I enjoyed this. I did enjoy this. The first issue was very interesting because it starts off in Europe. A man is being chased, and we get to see who his pursuer is. His pursuer is James Bond. And James Bond kills this guy and says, "This is for a friend. You killed a friend of mine, I kill you." Wow. Find out that that friend was 008, not 007. What also goes down in there is that the there's a rule now going on that even 00 agents can't carry weapons, and I'm like, what? Uh, before before that, and James has to carry more workload because of the death of the friend who was actually 008. We get to see Monty Penny in this. We get to see M. We get to see Q, and all was good. This was good. Nothing really big happens, but it was just really felt more like a setup of more to come. But I did love what Warren Ellis did with this. You could really see that he cared about this character. James Bond, #1. We move on to CageHero, #1. This is created by Kevin Eastman, written by Kevin Eastman and Ian Parker. The artwork in this was really good. Basically, what this tells a tale of is a young man who is on the wrestling team in his high school. He's kind of like an army brat. He's always bouncing around from different schools. Never really gets to know everybody. But he's also being uh, his grandfather raised him, and he just kind of feels like he's an outcast in school. Never really fitting in because he moves around, can't really make friends. And but I've seen storytelling like this before. It's nothing new, but it's more of the point of he starts realizing his destiny, and I won't ruin that. But other than that, oh, his name is Ryder Stone. Yeah, Ryder Stone. But this was cool. I enjoyed it. Looking forward to more. CageHero, #1. Move on to two Image books. Move on to Velvet, #12, and Lazarus, #20. Let's start off with Lazarus. Greg, Mr. Roca. Sure. Can I say I love you? I love it. You have just been killing it with this book. I've been loving it. You and Michael Lark just been killing it with this. So Forever now is not. There's a war going on between the Carnell family that Forever is from. She's kind of distanced herself from her family. She's not taking the medicine that kind of helps her, and she has a small army to take the fight to the people she's at war with. This was good. I don't want to ruin everything for you, but then there's also more with her sister and what's going to go down, how they can get about doing something without really going to quote unquote war. Um, this was good. In terms of Velvet, #12, this is still continuing the Man Who Stole the World story arc. And Brubaker and Abbott, good job. Tempest is still just on the run. She's not really on the run. She's on the run, but she's still on the case of tracking down the man that she needs. And it just was real. This is more of a dialogue heavy, not too much action, but Brubaker's writing just really sold it for me. Um, Nothing really to complain too much. Velvet, #12. Well, guys, that's all I have for this week. Hope you guys enjoy this. I make no apologies for what I said. If once again, guys, if you don't like what I said, it's fine. But like I said, it's always good to come back and do some reviews. As you all know, guys,
you've probably seen Gabi talk about, you know, what I do for him and everything like that, and it is true. Yeah, I do that. If you do follow Gabi on both his channels, BlugoblinX and his main channel, get ready because the Midtown Comics dashes will be returning. And other than that, you know the deal. You know where to find me. Here, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter. I'm a practical Renaissance man. But other than that, guys, this is Mount Vernon Kid. Peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real, guys. As always, the I'm the Geek High Lord of New York wishes you adieu, Avidazen, sayonara, ciao. I'm out, guys. Take care.